I mean, is it 2-1? It was a draw, and
It's
then it was
one one
Moreno.
one. It's 1-1-1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is it. This has to be it.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
no, no. I'm just
Unless
hype
they
about the
draw
fight,
again.
mate. No, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy new year. UFC pay-per-views are back. We got another one, UFC 283. We're here with Sam Grice from YinYang Monkey channel. We're going to break this one down. How's everything going today?
Very well, sir. Hope you had a good Christmas, good New Year. We're both not ill anymore. UFC's finally back, man. Pay-per-views. Let's go, baby. I'm good to go.
Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill for the vacant UFC light heavyweight championship.
hmm
What are your thoughts on that fight? What's your prediction, maybe? Just overall, what do you think?
I think it's interesting, to be honest, man. Just that whole division's been crazy. Props for Yuri for giving up the belt because of that injury, first and foremost. Like, got to show how much of a warrior he is. But prediction-wise, I think experience versus like inexperience, kind of. I mean, Jamal Hill, he came off of the Contender Series. Great fighter, like great fighter. Don't get that twisted. But I just think in this, I think Glover's been around far too long, and I just don't think Jamal Hill, unless he clips him, has got someone to offer. Because Glover's been in there with the best, and he's been doing it for years. And the hype that his camp's on now with Pereira, what in December, just beating Adesanya, I just think the whole like the energy. I think they've got this mentality if they're going to bring two belts back to that gym. So I just think Glover might just get it done, mate, in a pretty smooth fashion. To be honest with you, big fan of Jamal Hill. Don't like he's a great fighter, man, but I just think he just might be a bit too much too soon. I'd like to be surprised because let's be honest, Glover's at the end of his career. Even if he wins the belt, how long is he going to keep this for?
Sure.
Guy's 43 years old, man. You know what I
Is he
mean?
43? Wow.
I think so.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I knew he was 40. I didn't know he was like 43. I thought he was like maybe 41, but that's crazy,
But
bro.
well, he's on the wrong side of 40 to be fighting.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
say that much.
yeah, for sure.
But it makes it all that more impressive that he's still out there swanging and banging. You know what I mean? So
Swaying and
yeah.
banging. Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh my God. It's an interesting fight, right? Like many UFC main events are, right? Obviously, the two
Yeah.
guys that are on both sides of the equation are skilled to be there. I tend to lean with you, right? Glover Teixeira is a guy who's got a lot more fights, right? A lot more experience, especially in the UFC, has been in some championship fights already. And, it's interesting you bring up Alex Pereira, right? Because obviously they're training partners. If you saw the sparring footage, did you see it that time where they were sort of,
hmm
going at it hard, right? Um,
Yeah.
he trains with a guy that might be the most high level kickboxer in the world of MMA. Like he has that
Yeah.
guy in his gym. He trains with him. And we're talking
hmm
about a guy who's very big too, who's big for his weight class. So he's training with a guy that's very much his size and he's getting looks from one of the best kickboxers in the world, right? So I'm not saying that Jamal Hill can't throw things that, Alex that he hasn't seen from Alex Pereira in training already because everyone's unique and they're different, right? But I don't know. I just think that the combination of training with a guy like that, that's why it's interesting that you bring him up. The fact that he also went the full distance with Yuri Prohaska, except for the last seconds of the fight, right, where he got caught. So I
Yeah.
guess almost went the full distance with another very high level striker. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
I think he's able to withstand the storm that Jamal Hill can present. And to be fair, I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand Glover's storm. And Glover's storm is obviously the wrestling, right? It's not the striking. Is he going to be able to withstand that? I have serious doubts.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it just might be an experience thing. Jamal Hill, he's got the talent to obviously be at the top of the division, but I just think when it comes to the pressure and everything like that, I mean, just a moment. Um, I just get this feeling it might be a bit too much for him. And listen, man, it's home and away as well. We're in Brazil. We're in Rio fucking de Janeiro here, and those Brazilians do it differently. We all know what they shout from the
Oh yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
They want you dead, and
They want
you
you
know,
for sure. They take that shit
yeah,
serious.
like fucking serious. Like in London, they're throwing beers, and you might get booed and shit. In Brazil, they want you dead, bro. And that's not a night.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
professional athletes. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, ask
So
Chael Sonnen. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Colby
and I think
Covington. I
I was
can
just
name a
about to
couple
say,
others, right? So
yeah, 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 exactly, man. But yeah, so I just think, I mean, listen, I wouldn't be unhappy if Jamal. Actually, I'd be very happy if Jamal Hill won the belt. But
I
I've just
really
got to
don't
go
care
like,
who wins this fight, to be fair. I don't have like an
yeah.
alliance towards any specific. What about you? Do you have like is anyone you'd like to see win?
No, well, like I just think I don't know, man. I just think it would be more exciting if Jamal Hill won because we've already seen Glover as champion.
Young
And again, like I
guy,
said
up and
before,
coming, hasn't been champion
yeah,
before.
first champion from the contender series. So
He would be the
like,
first champion from the contender series.
and that would give, yeah,
Okay. I didn't know that.
and that
That's
would,
interesting. Shit.
yeah, and that would add value to that show a lot as well. So because contender series is sick. I mean, people have seen come from there. So yeah, it would be good for the contender series if he wins. But again, I just see Glover having too much, and the moment might be a bit too much for Jamal Hill and those Brazil fans as well, bro. I just think it's life or death over there, and who knows,
It
man.
is. What a great moment for Glover that would be, right? Like the guy finally gets, well, he already got the belt, but the cherry on top would be to win the belt again in Brazil, dude. Just imagine that. Like he could
I
retire
know.
at that point. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that's probably why I want Jamal Hill to win as well, because we need an active champion at 205, because that division for the longest time has just been cursed, man. Like,
Yeah.
even back to like fucking, I mean, you just think of the champions, man. Ever since John Jones has like been gone, and now he's gone forever. Well, maybe not forever, but
Well, no,
there's been
he's
no
he's coming back against Cyril Gahn.
fuck, yeah.
You heard
Yeah,
about that, right?
yeah, of course, man.
Okay, okay,
And it,
good, good.
and how it got leaked,
Yeah.
taking the heat off Dana. Come on, that was not T-Mobile did not leak that. That is the perfect PR move.
You think so? I haven't
Fuck
even
yeah,
given
but
thought to that. So
I mean, I'm happy. And then Edwards versus Usman, like Dana's probably paying him like 10 million Usman to fucking fight with a broken hand, just so, just so he can fucking announce shit and get the heat off Dana. Listen, I'm a fan of Dana, but come on, he's a very smart guy.
oh, 100%. Well, I mean, a lot of things seem to be strategic with what they do there. I want to do something though. I want to ask you before we move on to the next fight, since this is
Yeah,
a vacant title fight, I want to pull up all the UFC, I want to pull up all the UFC light heavyweights, and
yeah.
you tell me if the two guys that are fighting for the title, if they're the two best guys in the world in their weight class, of course. Let's see.
Hmm.
You think Yuri is better than either one of those two?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
How about
you as a champ, bro.
Ankalaev?
I think Ankalaev's good. Um, yeah, I think you could probably. I don't know. I can see Jamal Hill fight against him and
Sure.
Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, no, I just think Yuri's the best in the world, bro. Like, well, he is. He's the champ still, title or not. He gave it up.
Yeah.
So Yuri's the best 205er in the world, man. He's a guy's a savage.
Then you got Jan as well. But the point that I was trying to make was that, it's weird circumstances that, right? Like the last fight was a draw. And now, well, first of all, the last fight was put together. They had to change it because the champion got
Hmm.
injured. And then that fight ended in a draw and the division still
Yeah,
had no champion. So they
yeah,
had
yeah,
to,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm asking, are these the best two guys? They very well could be easily. I'm not, no discredit to either fighter, but I'm just
Mm,
asking because they're here due to very strange circumstance.
yeah,
Let's be like, they weren't the original plans to fight for the title. They're
yeah.
like the third
Well,
option, like the
well,
backup because of the turmoil.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think you can have those four guys fighting each other. While Yuri's out, and Yuri will just watch it happen. I think Yuri comes in and beats them all. Uncle Ive versus Yuri would be a fight I want to see. So
I hope Yuri
but
comes back 100%. That's serious injury. It's a serious.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the co-main event. And this is one that this might be my favorite fight of the night, to be fair. We got Brandon Moreno versus the champ, Davison Figueiredo. The quadrilogy, is that how you say it?
ah,
Quadrilogy.
fuck.
The fourth
I'm
fight. Oh man, what do you think, man? It looks like you're about to go on a little rant or say something. What do you think?
yeah. No, 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 not a bad rant. Like I
No,
love
no.
this fight. I've loved it the first time at the Apex. I loved it the two other times. I mean, is it 2-1? It was a draw, and
It's
then it was
one, one,
Moreno.
one. It's 1-1-1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is it. This has to be it.
Yeah,
But
sure.
no, no, I'm just
Unless
hyped
they
about the
draw
fight,
again.
mate. No, 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 it can't happen.
Imagine
It
that.
can't happen, man. If they give Paddy the victory, these judges are twisted, man. They can't give it a draw. They can't have 5 fights. They just can't, man. And especially the pace that they go. But to be honest, mate, I can't even give an answer as to who's going to win. I just really can't. And anybody who's sure about who's going to win, we've seen like this fight go on. What's the amount of time they've fought each other?
So one of them was a finish, and then the other two they went to full. So that's 50 off the two that went to full distance, and then it depends on the second one. How long did the second one go? It was like a second round finish, something like that.
Second round, yeah. So that's like an hour.
Yeah,
fighting each other. That is just like they must know.
And they're about to fight another 25 minutes too.
Yeah, man.
Well, maybe if it goes there, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
which
if
I think it will.
25, that's like an hour and a half. That's a movie. Literally, like that's a movie length of fighting, 90 minutes. Like that is crazy. But
that's a lot of octagon time to begin with, much less against one opponent, bro.
Yeah. But that's what's so good about the sport, man. Like, you know, the UFC were, I don't know if it sells that much. Trilogies always do, but when it's like 4, it's never been done before. But I think if you like MMA, you can't not like this fight, man, because how good the other ones have been. Like I said, I couldn't even warrant a guess as to see who gets it done. I'll be happy. I mean, obviously, I like Moreno's the more likable guy. So I think pretty much everyone who's not Brazilian is probably rooting for Moreno to get it done as well. You know?
Yeah, he's a fan favorite.
Of course, yeah. But again, it's home and away as well in Brazil. So, you know, I don't think Moreno will be faced by any of that. But listen, again, like you said, this is the fight I'm looking forward to as well. Like. I keep saying these little guys, man, they're the most entertaining, man. The pace they put on, so good, man. And Moreno's coming off that victory against Kai Kara France, like that.
Yeah, we haven't seen Figueiredo in like a year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's pretty normal, but Moreno's been more active, and he's the interim champion, isn't he? He won the interim.
Yeah, he's your interim champion.
Yeah, so I'd like to see Moreno get it done, but again, there's no way this fight disappoints. So. It's going to be sick, bro. I can't wait.
Bro, quadrilogy for the championship. And the last one is champ versus champ, right? They both are, sorry, I guess they're both champions going into this one.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the only reason we're even in this situation is because there was a draw. Like, you know, it's going to be hard to envision a fourth fight ever in the UFC because you would have to fight a guy. It would have to play out like just like they did. It would have to be one guy wins one guy wins the other, or like McGregor Poirier, for example, where one guy won, the other one won, and Poirier won that last one, but it was like very controversial, right? So maybe something like that, but it would have to be like circumstances like that. So I don't know if we ever see that again in the UFC, man. Honestly, a fourth fight. I mean, it's interesting because you take out the draw, and this is pretty much a trilogy, right? But the thing about that draw also is that Figueiredo was winning the fight. I feel like I went back and watched it, and if they don't take away that point, Figueiredo is probably winning the fight. Well, evidently he is, right? Because they took away a point and they drew, right? So obviously, Figueiredo doesn't do that, doesn't make that mistake, and we're looking at something different here. And I mean, look, when you look at the fighter as a whole, to me, the guy who's sort of winning the fight by the second, by the minute, in the totality of their octagon time, winning the majority of the time, I think it's Moreno, right? I think he's a slightly better martial art. I like him more on the ground, obviously. I like him slightly more in the stand-up. I think he's powerful. I think he's creative. He has good kicks. We saw the way he took out Kai Kara France. But, as far as the fight, I think I'm leaning towards Figueiredo just for some strange reason. You know how sometimes, I guess the other fighter sort of checks everything, but you just have a feeling about that other fighter because there's a component to them. There's something about Figueiredo. I think they go 5 rounds again because they seem to do that every time or most times. But I think Figueiredo hurts him a lot in the fight, and maybe Moreno outlands him. But I'm going to say similar to the third fight that got him to win. I'm going to say Figueiredo wins a fight, has more damage, and that's how he wins. And I say similar to the third fight because in the third fight, you could argue, in my eyes at least, Moreno was winning the majority of the minutes in the totality of the 5 rounds. But Figueiredo dropped, he had him off his feet a couple times, and that seemed to sort of be the difference maker. So it's going to be interesting. Like you said, no one can really say for sure who's going to win confidently. Let me check the line because I'm really interested in seeing what even they think about this fight. So it's minus 110, minus 110. It's
See,
even money,
it's
bro.
yeah, you can't separate them, bro, and that's it. But I mean,
I mean,
this
here's
will
the
end
thing
it
though.
all.
Figgy is in Brazil. Moreno also. James Krause. You know, what about that whole thing? James
Yeah,
Krause was his
exactly, man.
coach, the whole betting
Yeah,
situation, remember?
yeah. So is he had to swap camps for this or what?
Yeah, he's at a whole new place now. I think it's Glory MMA. So I could be
Yeah,
mistaken. And I'm sure it's good, but man, I mean, you kind of build, I would think you build chemistry with coaches, right? And it's
no,
kind of hard to just get that
yeah,
taken
yeah.
away from you.
No, it could be a huge factor in it. Yeah. So I mean, if we're
Yeah.
thinking about it like that, maybe it could be leaning towards Figgy. It really could. But like I say, we just never know until the night. I mean, Moreno's good, man. But this is why we've got four fighters are both just as good as each other. So either way it goes, man, it's going to be a scrap. I know it will.
Yeah, they're both so good, dude. Yeah, it is 100% going to be a scrap. I mean, would it shock you if it was fight of the night? Absolutely not. I don't think anyone would
No,
disagree.
no, no.
You know?
Easy fight of the night, man. I already know. Well, you never know, but
Yeah.
like it's just
So,
one of those things. It's like when you see Michael Chandler fighting or Dustin Poirier, it's like, yeah, it's probably
yeah.
going to be fight of
And
the
it
night.
always ends up happening, right? So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
let's get to that next fight, my friend. Welterweight division, Gilbert Burns, number 5 versus number 12, Neil Magny. It's a
Hmm.
fun fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't wait for this one, man. I would love to see Gilbert, just be back up there. He's dropped down number 5 now. Um, I mean, I
Still in the
see Gilbert
mix.
winning. I see Gilbert winning. I think that's not unfair. I mean, Neil Magny, he's been with the best of the best, most welterweight wins in history, I believe, and he's dog. But again, home and away, Brazil. I think Brazil are fighting on every card in the main, every fight in the main card, aren't they? It's like a home and away advantage thing, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just see I see Gilbert getting it done, to be honest. I mean, not by jiu-jitsu. I think he's going to go out there and just absolutely starch him. I don't know why. I just see it because Gilbert, he looks like an animal. He's growing hair now. You never see Gilbert with hair. You know what I mean? Like he's going to go out and just do something. He fought when COVID first came out in Rio, and when he dropped Damian Maya, and I just see that side of Gilbert coming out once more. Um, so yeah, that's my prediction. Neil Magny's a great fighter, but I just think that Gilbert's just got too much. He's been fighting high level of competition. Magny's been on fight nights. Gilbert's been going 3 rounds with fucking Hamza Chimaev. So I just think like his recent victories and defeats add up to more. And I think he gets it done against Neil Magny.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I mean, let's just pull up who Gilbert Burns has fought, right? You look up his
Mm-hmm.
last few fights, man, and he's fought some killers right over the last 5 fights or
Yeah.
so. You got to imagine. Let's see here. So the last fight, right? We got Hamzat Chimaev, right? And we got Wonder
Mm-hmm.
Boy, Kamaru Usman,
Mm-hmm.
Tyron Woodley, Damian Maya, Gunnar Nelson. I mean,
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
dude. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
yeah. So
In
we know
in
what Gilbert could
comparison.
do, man. We know what he could do because he's been in there with guys that have tested him. So we know what he's made of. He's a guy that
Yeah.
he's put everything on the line, and we know what Gilbert Burns is.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know him Neil Magny is. I'm not trying to say we don't, but I'm saying the fact that I know what Gilbert Burns is makes me pick Gilbert in this fight. I think
Yeah.
Gilbert is really freaking good on the ground. So is Neil Magny, but Gilbert has easily one of the best jiu-jitsu games in the division, easily. In the
Mm-hmm.
stand-up, we know he's got power. And that
Yeah.
guy stood in there with a guy like Hamza, who was an absolute beast, and nobody wanted to face, and he went toe-to-toe with him. It was a close fight. I think Gilbert, the fact that Gilbert took a loss and he really didn't drop much, but like one spot in the division, he's still in the top 5. He's still in the mix. That shows that the UFC has confidence in him. They know what he's made of, just
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
all do. Big fan of Neil Magny. He's been in the UFC for a long time now, since like
Mm-hmm.
2013, 14. He's got
Yeah.
a lot of fights in the UFC. I think he's got some records, right, in the welterweight division, I
Yeah. Yeah.
think,
Most
over
wins. Most
GSP.
wins.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there we
Most
go.
wins. Yeah.
He's game. So this is going to be a great fight. I don't think Neil
Yeah.
Magny folds to anyone. I picked Gilbert Burns, but 2 great fighters nonetheless, man.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait for it, bro.
It's going to be fun, bro. Lauren Murphy, Jessica Andrade, women's flyweight bout, number 4 versus number 6, an important fight in this division. It's an
Mm-hmm.
important
Mm-hmm.
fight. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good. I'd have to pick Andrade just because I think, look, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Laura Murphy's last fight was against Shevchenko, was it not? Or she fought since then?
I think so she lost to Shevchenko and then she fought Misha Tate and beat Misha Tate.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Laura Murphy, great fighter.
Yeah.
Andrade's power scares me, bro. Just scares me. Like, and last time she fought in Brazil, I think she slammed Rose on her head.
Yeah.
So Andrade just scares me, man. I just think Andrade's going to be in that mix. I'm just when I see it, I just think she's just too good for Laura Murphy. Yeah, Laura Murphy, she's a great fighter. But I just see on the day, especially in Brazil again, we're gonna have to go back to that every fight because I just think it plays such a big part. It really does. Like it's an intimidating place to go, Rio de Janeiro, and I just think it plays a massive part, and you can't ignore that fact. But I think Andrade gets it done quick. Like I've just got
Okay.
this feeling, like quick, maybe like obviously first round, first like 3 minutes, quick, one of them.
Wow. So you think she gets
Yeah,
it done? It's interesting. I mean, she has the capability of getting it done quick, whether it's like picking you up, slamming you on your head like we've seen her do before, whether it's knocking you out, because she has plenty of finishes in the division, which you don't see as
yeah,
much in those female lighter weight classes.
yeah,
She has a far higher knockout rate than a lot of people, I'd say. She's got
yeah,
power. Lauren Murphy technically is a very good fighter, good all
yeah,
around. You look at her resume and she's faced like all the best girls in the division.
yeah. Of course, yeah.
It's gonna be a fun fight. Jessica Andrade, I think I'll pick her. But I think it wouldn't shock me if Lauren Murphy makes this a 3-round scrap.
Hmm.
But Jessica Andrade, it's interesting because she fought at straw weight. I think it was the last fight. She fought at 115 pounds, and now she's going back up to 125 pounds. And then the fight before that, or 2 fights ago, she
Hmm.
was back at 125. So she's sort of been bouncing around from 125 to 115 and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think as far as power, she has it. As far as strength, she has it. I had Liz Carmouche on the channel, and she said that we were talking about her, and Jessica Andrade's power is like bar none, like one of the best in the entire
Yeah.
sport as far as women. Like
Mm.
she's crazy, bro. And you talked about Brazil, and I'm gonna one up that. I think that's gonna be a huge component in this fight. I think confidence is everything. And when the last time you were at a place, I think it's the last time she was there. I could be mistaken, but if it's the last time she was there, she won the title in front of her home crowd in Brazil. So it must be a good feeling to
Yeah.
be back in that country,
Mm.
So
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be
Just
interesting.
familiarity, man, and just having that support as well. So
Yeah.
it steps it up a bit. Yeah. What can we say, man? Yeah, I think Andrade does it. I think it's quicker. I don't know. You get this feeling about fights, but we'll just have to see, man. But
It'll be a good one. It'll be a fun scrap, I think. And I think it's hard for this fight not to deliver. Both technically very good. And
mm,
I think they both present a lot of dangers to each other. So we'll see what happens there. And then we got the fight that's going to start us off on the main card, right? It's going to be a light heavyweight bout between number 9, Paul Craig, number
mm,
12, Johnny Walker. Very fun fight,
yeah,
man. What do you think about it?
very fun. To pick a winner will be hard. I mean, Paul Gray's got nasty submissions. Um,
Hell yeah.
I, j- I just hope he doesn't go on the way that he did against the who was it?
The last
Ozdemir.
fight against Uzdemir, yeah.
Yeah, he kept on trying
Yeah.
to pull guard and stuff, and he was just very one dimensional, just looking for it. It was like old school, like it was like back when the war geese, like someone started punching you would pull guard, And I feel like when he was like attacking, like going for it, he was looking good against Ozdemir, and Ozdemir was a banging striker as well. But Johnny Walker can bang. I mean, we've seen the best of him when he came into the sport. I know he's been on your channel as well, so he's one of your buddies. But
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely
yeah,
not, but we've spoken, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like he fought against Jamal Hill, not a crazy knockout as well. This was maybe the hardest fight to pick, apart from
Okay.
Moreno and Figueiredo. So I can't pick a winner for this one. I really can't. I just think I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I really
Hmm.
don't.
I hear you. Yeah.
Obviously, I would like Paul Craig to win. He's from my side of the world, but I really don't know, mate. I just don't. How about you?
You know what's crazy about it? I actually think that the reason you don't know how it's going to go is because of the both of their styles. Johnny Walker, expect fireworks anytime he's in there. You don't know what's going to happen when Johnny Walker goes into the octagon. He's just crazy fights every single time. When I had him on the channel, you brought
Yeah,
that up. I went back and watched like his last 5 fights, and I was just fucking going crazy. While I was like, "Oh my god!" Every single time, I'm like, every fight. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
the
yeah.
commentators are going crazy. And then Paul Craig does something like what he did the last fight, where I'm saying he looks like Uriah Hall because a lot of times he would just drop to the floor and pull guard, and he's trying to get him, trying to grab a hold of his leg and just take the fight to the ground, and
Do you mean
no
Ryan Hall?
intention. Did I say I said Ryan Hall? I said
Yeah,
Uriah
yeah,
Hall. Yeah, I meant to say Ryan
yeah.
Hall. It gets confusing after a while, all the names, dude.
No, it does. It does.
But listen, it was very Ryan Hall-esque his last performance, and it
No,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
it kind of throws you off on what he's going to do next. Is he going to be more active in the stand up in this upcoming fight now? Is he going to do what he did in the last fight? Is he going to be sort of in between in that gray area? And then again, we just spoke about Johnny Walker. So I think a lot of that reason why you don't know who's going to win is because it's two guys that have very unusual styles.
yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
And Johnny Walker's a good striker, and I think if Paul God tries to Paul God, oh, you've got me going out. I said Paul God instead of Paul Craig. What is going on?
Paul Guard. Man.
We need to compose ourselves. No, if Paul Craig starts pulling guard again, Johnny Walker could easily just come down because it doesn't work. I mean, Ryan Hall tried to do that against Ilya Tapiria, and Ilya
Yeah.
Tapiria just fucked him up. So, you can't be doing that anymore. But
you get to a high level guy, and that shit's not gonna work. Like,
no,
he's gonna beat the shit out of you on the ground if you're pulling guard or whatever.
Yeah, it'll work in a gym probably, but as far as I've seen, it doesn't work nowadays. The sport's so advanced now. We're just assuming he's going to come out and do that. We just don't know.
No, we don't know.
You know what? I was looking at something today. If you look at Paul Craig's record, I think there's somebody who I was very surprised looking at his record. He's beat like he beat Ankalaev.
He's faced a lot of good people.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up his record. He's faced some crazy people.
I was looking at Ankalaev's record, and he's like unbeaten in so many fights, but he lost against Paul Craig, and I was like,
Paul Craig submitted him, right?
Yeah. No wonder he's looking for fucking submissions. Paul God.
He's had success with them, right? I mean, the amount of limbs that man. You saw what he did to Jamal Hill. Speaking, Jamal Hill's fighting for the championship now, might be the world champion.
Yeah.
Volkan Oezdemir, Nikita Krylov, Jamal Hill, Shogun again. Dude, I mean, the guy's faced some killers, bro. Like in the last 5 fights or so, it's crazy. And he's won a lot of those fights. So that's going to be a fun fight. That's like the perfect fight almost to open up a card, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, and he's just like very Scottish as well. Like at the weigh-ins, he wears the brave horse face paint. Like he's not scared of nobody as well. So
yeah,
and I doubt that Brazil pressure will get to him, man. He's made of fucking steel, that guy. But what a great way to kick on the pay-per-view, man. I'm excited. And,
you don't even know if that fight's going to be fight of the night. You don't know if it's going to be a dull fight. You don't know.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out as a banger. I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't be surprised with any outcome, honestly.
Yeah,
like I really wouldn't be surprised if it was a bad fight too. I don't know what's gonna happen.
That's why this pay-per-view is gonna be insane, mate. Like the main card when I was looking at, I was like, you know what?
You like this pay-per-view overall? You think it's good?
No, I really like the main card. Yeah, the main card's very good. Yeah, it's like surprising fights. Like maybe not star power, but like if you really like MMA, you've been watching it. Like these are some good fights.
Yeah, you like any on the prelims or no?
I can't really remember. You have to refresh my memory.
So we got Mauricio Shogun Rua. It's his last fight, retirement fight in Brazil, bro. A legend of the sport. I mean, we should, you want to pull up the records. We can do that all day with Shogun Rua. I'm going to list 20 names throughout all the people he's fought. A legend is retiring. It's his last fight. That's going to be the main event rather of the prelims, bro. That's going to be, he's fighting a guy in Patieria who's I think he lost his last fight, but before that he was on like a lengthy run, like a 10+ fight win streak. A guy who's much younger than him, like 27 or so. I think Shogun's like 41, something like that. So it'll be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man, of course, yeah. But yeah, I'll be watching the main card for sure, man. Get that recorded, not staying up for it as per usual. Can't be doing that no more. We're getting too old, but yeah, it's gonna be a banger. It's nice to have a pay-per-view outside of the States as well.
Oh yeah.
They've actually, I think the next few pay-per-views aren't even on in America. They're Brazil, London, Australia. I think are like the next pay-per-views.
Okay, really? I didn't even know that.
I think so, yeah. Well, no.
because we got the one with Islam, right? And Volk, that's in Australia. Or where is that in? In New Zealand? I don't know. Where is that?
It's in Perth, in Australia. Yeah. and then we've got UFC in London, and then we do have the Vegas one with Jones and Gone. But yeah,
Sure. Okay, so there's gonna be a good little stretch there where they're out of the country. You know who else is on this card, bro? And I don't know why he's on the early prelims. Terrence McKinney. He's fighting,
oh
bro. And I'm gonna tell you, the guy he's fighting, Ismail Bonfim. The guy's on like a 12-fight win streak right now, 10+ fight win streak, something along those lines. And the guy finishes a lot of people. If there's one thing about it, is we know what Terrence McKinney could do in the submissions, right? The guy submits a lot of people. This
yeah,
guy, the 2 or 3 losses in his career are all from submission. So UFC might be smart with the way that they did that. Maybe they want to build up
yeah,
Terrence McKinney. They give him a guy who's good, but only lost by submission. So we'll see what
yeah.
happens with that one.
I wouldn't blame the UFC for doing that. Terrence McKinney, I like him. He's a likable kid, very talented. I want to see if I him against Paddy, because he was saying some funny shit on Ariel's show about he was impressed how Paddy was defending himself with. He was impressed by the way he was blocking Jared Gordon's punches with his face. I don't think we talked about that. Was the last pay we didn't talk about, the one with
Yeah.
Paddy on.
Yeah. I think he lost, but you know,
Yeah, fucking yes, did he lose?
he did.
That was the most ridiculous decision ever, man.
It was.
Listen, man, like even being from Britain, like I think Paddy for me is, I'm not hating on the kid. Like it's just, I just don't think the whole pay per view was a good look for him. I think he needs
It definitely
to
wasn't.
needs to be a bit more humble. I think. I get the, the brashness and all that, but it's just like I feel like it's so close to home. It's a bit too much. I feel like it's just like it's unbelievable, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's
Because
a fun guy. That's his personality, but it may be,
yeah.
I mean,
No, honestly,
he's just
have you ever
starting to
listened to
become
his
famous,
podcast?
right? Like a lot of people
Yeah,
didn't know about him, and now he's starting
yeah.
to sort of break out. So I
I
haven't.
listened to him. I listened to a podcast. He had Tom Aspinall on. He's got other fighters on. He's such a sweet guy on the podcast, and I really think like if you just like calm down a bit and was just like a bit more down to earth, you probably get more fans.
Yeah.
When you,
I mean, he's got a lot of
when you,
fans already, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's been a long day, bro. But
No, I
yeah,
get what you're saying. I
yeah,
mean, he definitely seems like maybe a lot of people hate him, but on the inside, he's a nice guy. He talks about the whole mental health thing and all that. So
no,
kudos
yeah,
to Patty. He's still a young man, so I think he'll get his shit
no,
together.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
exactly, man.
so look back to the UFC 283, right? Another fight that I think is fun on the prelims is and his name is an absolute nightmare. It's Shamil Abdurakhimov. This guy's number 15 in the division. You look at the people he's fought throughout like the last 5 fights or so. He's fought killers in the heavyweight division. He's fought Derek Lewis and so on, like big names.
Oh,
He's the
right,
number
yeah.
15 ranked guy in the division right now, and he's taking on Jailton Almeida. And this guy, Jailton Almeida, is on like a 12-fight win streak right now. He's 2
Mm-hmm.
fights into the UFC, more or less. I think he's won both of them, and he's taking on this number 15 ranked guy, and he's trying to get into the division. And speaking of Francis, who left the division, who
Yeah.
left the UFC, obviously, who was a ripped heavyweight with the 6-pack, which we don't see. You look at Jailton Almeida, and this dude is a heavyweight with a 6-pack. He's a
No,
little different, but he's like 217.
danger.
That's the problem. Is he's not that. He's like he's like 217, 212. I don't even know why
Yeah,
why he's a heavyweight. He should be like a light heavyweight, but again, I think he's gonna be a problem in this division.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, Gabriel Bonfim, another guy who's crazy out right now, is gonna be another fun fight. Simon Oliveira is going to be fun versus Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos I think he's like 13-0. He's undefeated. So keep an eye out for all those, bro. Turn on those
Mm-hmm.
early prelims. I think it'll be fun. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I will do, bro. Well,
Yeah.
that'll be about my bedtime when the prelims coming on. So
Oh, that's
we'll
right.
have to
Yeah,
have
I
a look,
forget
man.
about that. Well, listen, if you're gonna watch it, the next day or whatever, I suggest you take a look at some of those fights, man. I think they'll be fun. And anybody who's watching this, check those out as well.
So I shouldn't be skipping those prelims. All right, I'll
Oh,
take your advice, bro. You know what you're talking about.
even the early prelims are fun, dude. So yes,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
do so. Take my advice.
Will do, brother.
You'll
Will
go
do.
very far away in your life. I'm fucking with
Always,
you.
man.
But yeah, man. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up with that, guys. UFC 283, Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. It's gonna be a fun one. Tune into that one this Saturday. Thanks for coming on the show again, Sam. We're gonna catch you for the next one, bro.
No problem, bro. It's always a pleasure, man. Can't wait for the next one.
All right, take it easy.